Hi, I'm from New Jersey. I hear a lot of stories say that it takes more than 7 months to claim from your insurance if there is a fire damage. What I can do if I cannot force my tenants to purchase tenant insurance, what else I can do to prepare for the fire? Thank
Prepare,
you.
preparing for a fire. Thank you, Melody. Well, that's certainly, I have to think on my list of things that people, when they think about real estate investing, because when you're just getting started, you talk yourself out of everything, right? There's a difference. There's people that like take action and they're like, I always say you got to be like 80% sure. If you're 80% sure, then you got to go for it. You're never going to be 100% sure about anything, right? So, okay, you're 80% sure that you want to become a real estate investor. Great, go for it. A lot of times, like the people are like, what are the things that hold them back from taking action? They're like, well, they think about worst case scenarios, right? And worst case scenarios on their list are like, well, what if my tenant doesn't pay the rent? Okay, well, if it's depends on where you are, you go through you go through an eviction process, right? That's why we invest in landlord friendly states, so that can happen very, very quickly. You could have a fire at your place and the place burns down. That's happened to me. That's a worst case scenario, but the beauty of insurance is that you just get a replacement coverage of that property. So let's say you bought it for 100, you get replacement coverage and it burns down, you're going to get a check from your insurance company for 100, and you're going to build a new property. Or maybe you just sell the land if you don't like where you are in that neighborhood anymore, and you take that 100 and you go someplace else and invest it and build something else in another part of town. All things you can do, but not something to really be freaked out about. I mean, unless your family's entire financial future is tied to this one cash flowing property and it burns down, now you're out of luck for an amount of time because it's not cash flowing. But the beauty of insurance is that you can structure it any way you want. So you could have replacement coverage, and then also on top of it, make sure you have rental reimbursement. So if you're out of rent, we've had that on our insurance policy. So if there's some reason that the tenant can't pay rent, or there's a damage to the property and for 4 months you have to deal with non-payment, get that in your insurance. Like, that's covered under insurance policies. So I would absolutely look at that. I frankly, I'm not a financial advisor, but I would definitely have a conversation with my insurance provider about this. And you said it could take 7 months. I think that's what you said, 7 months to get a payment back from insurance after fire. That's not been my experience. I've dealt with a lot of investors over the years that have had fires in their properties, and it can be anywhere from a few weeks to a month or so. I've never heard of 7 months though. Some of the things that'll happen, like after a fire in a property, and look, this is not common, okay? This is rare, but if it does happen, these are the things, you'll have, like the fire inspector will go out, they'll get a fire report from the fire department. You need that fire report and so forth, or police department, fire department, whatever. And then you'll submit that to your insurance. And then that starts the process, and you'll get a check from your insurance shortly after that. They'll probably send an inspector out from the insurance company to confirm. Sometimes they don't even bother with it. As long as they have the fire report from the fire department, that's all they need to start that process. So it shouldn't take that long, unless for some reason you can't get the fire inspector out there, but they should be out there within the first day of a fire or that same afternoon. You should be able to get a report on that. I wouldn't worry about it taking 7 months. I don't know about that. Again, the way to prepare for it is to make sure that you've got rental coverage, so that loss of rent is in your insurance policy, and replacement coverage, so that you can get a check to replace the property if it's burned down, its value, and then rebuild, or choose to keep that money and just sell the raw land and get it cleaned off. And you may also want to talk to your insurance provider. Sometimes, obviously, if there's a smoldering fire of a house sitting on a land, we had this happen on one of our rental properties one time, and the city itself doesn't want it sitting there. So the city itself will actually come out and remove it. Now, it depends on the city, but sometimes they'll actually do it for free, or sometimes they'll do it and then send you the bill. And sometimes you can do it for cheaper than the city can do it. So conversations to be had. Again, these are things that happen, very, very rare, but those are some things to prepare for, just to make sure, you want to clean off the burnt wood and have it shipped to a dump somewhere, you can do that, or the city can do it for you. And then I think they may send you a check or a bill for it. And it's not that much. It's going to be a few thousand to have them clear the land. But they don't want a burnt property sitting in their city jurisdiction for very, very long. I can tell you that. So they're going to take care of it if you don't. And then that's also part of your insurance. The clearing of that land can be covered under your insurance. So again, I know it's a little scary, a little dire, a little worrisome to think about having a fire on a rental property, but it's incredibly rare. But these are things to think about and make sure your insurance is covered and you're protected, Melody. Okay. We have tons of great resources on our website. Go to morrisinvest.com. You can leave us a voicemail question there just by clicking on the little microphone icon. And if you'd like to book a call with our team, if you're getting ready to invest in real estate, we are building over 500 homes this year with our team. That is single families and duplexes, brand new construction built from the ground up in the best rental markets in the country with tenants moving in or in place at closing. This is vital, and financing built in. So you don't have to worry about finding the financing and all of that. Book a call with our team and we're happy to take you through our entire process. Until next time, everyone, go out there, become a real estate investor. I believe it's the #1 way to build wealth. We'll see you next time.